Oh, so if you saw the picture there at the beginning, I've got a little, it's almost like a doorbell. It hangs right outside by the front door. And it's supposed to have, the piece that you ring it with. And this guy sitting right here has taken the chain and the little piece of steel that you ring the bell with, and who knows where it's at. And so today what I'm going to try to do, or tonight, is forge just a little bitty piece that's got a curl on both ends so I can hang it in there and hang a string off it. And to ring the bell with. So I'm going to start with this piece I was messing with yesterday. Do an offside taper. Alright, got that thing trimmed on down pretty good and quick. And we'll drop the hot cut in, assuming I can find it. Hey, what's going on, Rob? Just trying to do a little something that's outside of my comfort zone today. Outside of my comfort zone in the fact that I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm just kind of winging it. I got to do like a ball with a curl on each end. So, let's see how that goes. All right. Business end heating back up. Find that hot piece of steel I just dropped, make sure I ain't burning something down. Oh yeah, there it is, burning some grass. Yeah, sure, you betcha. I'll set it right there to cool off. Be alright. It's raining, so I've got everything kind of situated a little bit different so that the rain coming in from under the carport's not being in the way. Grab my safety glasses. Is that there? Essential piece of safety equipment that you got to have around here is something flat to put on top of your glass or your can so you don't get flies, gnats, or bees inside it. Bad about gnats here, especially with a beer or a Coke, man. Set it down, you come back and there's 3 gnats swimming in it. You're like, oh, we smelled liquor. I'll probably get this done in one heat right here. Alright, got a little curl on there. Now, how to proceed? I guess I need to come back a little bit this way and do a near side taper. And kind of do the same thing. Then I just got to figure out how to hold the darn thing while I'm cutting it off. Tell you what. This little forge right here, well, it ain't real little, but that sucker gets hot so fast, it's not even funny. Loving that burner. Good stuff, man. Alan, yeah. Lasagna spaghetti flavored cake. That's pretty close, man. But you know, you gotta look at lasagna. I mean, it's truly a gift from the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So you can't take lasagna for granted. That whole Mountain Railroad spike is gone, huh? Yeah, that sucks. Those things are handy. I mean, I can't really get them down here where I'm at. Well, maybe I can. I just don't know about it. I looked on eBay and thought, well, hell, I'll just order some brand new ones on eBay. But man, it's like $30 for 10 of them, and I'm like, I don't know. Oh, hold on, Alan. I've already been touched by the noodly appendage. Not in a bad way, though. All right. Stand back, over here. All right, we're gonna do a near side. And we'll go right there. And we have to go to that side. I'm having to squat down to kind of get the right angle on this thing, but it's a small project, so I don't reckon it'll kill me. And of course, here I am forging with my safety glasses, protecting my bald spot right where they need to be. Don't want to get hot steel on your forehead. Or your 5 head, as the case may be. Let's see if I can adjust that up. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. You know, a buck of spike seems kind of fair for as soft and easy as stuff that is to move. I mean, I've got one spike left, and it says HC on it, but I don't really think that means high carbon. I mean, people say it does, but the other one that I had bent, and I went ahead and just, because it was pretty messed up, I straightened it out and I made that little KSO out of it, and it was not. I mean, I tried to harden it. It didn't harden, but I mean, so it's just a fancy, you know, with a twist kind of deal. But I'm hesitant to use this one just because of where I got it from. I got this from the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad narrow gauge up there in northern New Mexico, and it's kind of like a souvenir type thing. So I don't really want to just throw it in the forge and turn it into something else. I kind of want to keep it as I make it. I don't really want to, you know, go with, you know, like I said, 10 spikes for $30 on eBay. No, I mean, I can buy good steel for cheaper than that. Right on, Alan. Oh, another thing I got. Went to the steel getting place yesterday. I had to get some 4-inch by 1/8 strap to do the sides on this Ford. And they also sell 4140, so I got a 5-foot section of 1-inch 4140. It's the only high carbon steel they sell. Everything else is mild steel, but they're like, well, we can order, you know, pretty much anything else. And I was like, well, you know, I can order it too. I don't need to order it here. But I did get me some 5 foot of 1-inch, and I'm going to use that to make some drifts. I might throw that in tonight and beat on it a little bit. I ain't sure. The last piece of 4 on 2-inch, and whoo, boy, that wore me out. Okay, so they've got more carbon than mild steel, but not enough to properly harden. Okay, I mean, because when you get into the higher carbon stuff, I mean, those railroad spikes, they've got a lot of whole lot of vibration and whatnot. I mean, you can just stand next to the tracks and you can watch the tracks moving up and down as the cars go over them, and it sometimes works some spikes up out of the ties. And so you would think if you had a hard spike, it would tend to crack or break or something like that. Yeah, and I'm not sure about, you know, about this 41. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I mean, that last piece that I had, man, it did not want to move. This one's probably going to be the same way, but this one's a whole lot smaller, so hopefully it's not too bad. One more heat. See what we got there. It's not the perfect little round ball I was aiming for, but I think it'll ring the bell. Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of Chandler stuff. Typically, when I subscribe to somebody, I stay current with them. There's been a few exceptions, like the rest of the guys that like we chat back and forth. I've watched everybody's video. Everybody that I subscribe to that's, you know, a beginner or whatever. B&B Forge, Rob, Alan. I mean, I watch everything. You know, help rack up the watch time. And so I've went back and watched the whole inventory. When the very first blacksmithing video I watched, I just checked YouTube and I saw a recommended video, and it was Alex Steel. Had no idea what it was or whatever, and I turned that thing on and I was like, oh my God, I could do this. And proceeded to watch everything he did. And I don't really do that anymore. Like, so when I subscribe to say Tim or John, Chandler, I mean, these guys got like 4 years of backlog, and I'm like, man, I don't have time to go back and watch everything in order. So every now and then I'll see a tag or a link or something like that to a video that would be, you know, hey, maybe I need that information, and I'll watch it. But whew, it's already hot, and it's raining, so. Yeah. I know what you mean there. That's a lot of what I did in the beginning too. Is just kind of, okay, what would I like to have, and what do I need? Sometimes there's a big difference. You know, would I like to have a 2x72? Well, yeah. Do I need one? No, I can kind of get by with the 1x30 for now. All right, gonna go ahead and cut that off. There we go. Set that over there to cool down where it's not going to fall on my iPad. Let's see if I got the way to hold that. Let's see, those tongs aren't going to do it. Ooh, that one will. See, I'm going to need to draw that out just a little bit more. Drop her in the fire and get her hot. Hey Bob, how's it going? Glad you could stop by for a minute. I'm not gonna pull a James Ace and sit here for 4 hours on a live stream. I don't have that kind of time. Well, I mean, I guess I do, but I don't have that kind of dedication. Just finished that project your woman had you doing, huh? Not your woman's project, mine. Is the stream holding up okay? Is it glitchy or anything like that? I mean, I'm on my home Wi-Fi here, and so I don't know if I've got 2 devices going, and I've told the wife not to use the internet. So I know when I'm at work, the Wi-Fi there just it's horrible. It cuts in and out and glitches. So let me know if it's coming through all right. Yeah, and he loves seeing himself on camera. He'll come around here and walk and be like, "What's up?" without actually saying what's up. That's what he's thinking. All right, look out. He's had enough scale fly his way. He knows to get out the way when the hot piece comes out the fire. All right, next course of action, I think, is going to be to try to round this thing up just a little bit. I'm going to leave the, come on. It's kind of a square, but then there's a curl in there, and I'm going to kind of round that out, and then I'll curl it back around, and that little piece will be about done. Ow. Drop towards those tongs, huh? Oh, I had to make an herb chopper, huh? Well, I can't do much about the glitching. Oh yeah, I see it there. I see it glitching. I can't do a whole lot about it. No, I can't do that either. Son of a biscuit. Let me see what options I have right here in the lower right. Nope. I don't know what that one does. Nope. Alright, never mind. I can't do a whole lot about it because just like at work, I've got like 1 bar of 4G service here, so I can't really just switch to 4G. I've got to use the Wi-Fi that I've got. Oh, nice. All right, Alan. Yeah, I see. I watched your welding up that chain earlier. Pretty decent there. Goodbye on that welder, man. Thanks for stopping by. Oh shit. Now lose that whole heat just messing around. Yep, pretty much wasted it. That's some of the round end, but not enough. Rob, you been up to anything adventurous lately? Been making anything interesting? See you, Alan. Have a good evening. All right, looking pretty centered up. All right, one more and we'll do the curl. That's funny, big old forge and little bitty piece of steel inside it. I think I'll go ahead and throw that 4140 in and see how it moves. All right, we're gonna go with that in. So we're gonna go this way. All right. Boy, that is not pretty and not at all what I envisioned. But at the end of the day, I can hang that from a little chain and put a string on the other end and it'll ring the darn bell. Now, get that piece of, oh shit, those are hot. All right, where'd that other set of tongs go? There they are. No, I don't need the tongs. That piece. Tongs, you've been trying to straighten a tow hook for a semi to make a party pick and make stainless rod. Man, how's that stainless working out? I'm kind of curious myself. I mean, I'm not sure how it would work in the forge. Do you lose stainless qualities? I mean, like if you heat a piece of stainless up and you don't finish with it, if you pull it out and wait a few days to come back to it, does it rust? I don't know. I mean, kind of curious myself. Bob, you hate when you do what? Grab your tongs and go, oh, those are hot. So nothing rusted yet, and hardly any scale. Well, that's interesting. Grab hot tongs. Oh, yeah, I do it more times than I can count because I'll be sitting here working with them, and when I got to switch tongs, they got to go in the rack, so I got to grab them from this end to drop them in the rack. And so inevitably, I always wind up getting my hands a little bit too close to the rivet. Oh, we're not ready yet. Oh, that's the way to forge right there. Kick back in a chair, relax, arm on the rototiller, leave beer in the other. What do you think, Jacob, huh? How's that 4140 gonna move? Slow, huh? What? This thing works pretty darn quick. I'm loving that Alex steel burner, man.
Yeah.
I was kind of sketchy when I spent, a whole lot of money on that thing. Had it shipped over here, and I got it all put together last night. Man, slow and hard, and keep it hot. Yep, that's the idea. This piece of 4140, what I'm going to try to make a drift out of it. So I want to bring a kind of a taper to it, and then flatten it on both sides a little bit. Not necessarily, not like a hammer, well, similar to a hammer eye drift, but smaller for drifting bottle openers. Because right now the largest thing I have to drift a hole with is 5/8 of an inch, and I don't care who you are. 5/8 of an inch hole doesn't open a dang bottle, so you got to hit it and then move the bottle opener over 90 degrees and hit it again. So I'm going to try to build a slightly thicker drift out of this, and in retrospect, I probably should have just bought a 1-inch bar of mild steel, but they had 4140 for sale, so I thought I'd buy some. I mean, obviously, I could, but what's the point when I'm going to be drifting it through hot steel? So, oh, forge that I just built. It was stashed in my sea container on the other end of the property last time I was on days off, and so I went to fire up the lawn tractor. Maybe you can see it behind me over there, maybe not. I went to fire up the lawn tractor to put the trailer on it to go get all my my 1x30 and my grinder, that piece of forge, bring them up here so I could work with them. And the battery's dead. So I asked the wife. I was like, hey, I put the charger on, and I asked the wife, hey, what's up with that? She's like, oh, Jacob. So battery's 2 months old and it's toast. I left it on a trickle charge all night last night. Still dead this morning. So. Gonna have to get a new battery again. Just leave that right there. All right, let's pull this out and see what we can do with it. And of course, I don't have the right size tongs. I don't have anything that fits 1 inch, but. I can make do, I guess. It's not too bad, actually. have to upset that a little bit. Start to get some fish lipping going on there. Yeah, it's moving. It's actually not moving real bad. I mean, it's not. It ain't railroad spike soft, but it's moving pretty decent. Not at all like that big old piece of 2-inch that I had. Man, I must have spent 3 weeks working on that one. I'd get out there and I'd beat on it for 30 minutes and be like, done. A couple days later, I'd get out there and I'd beat on it for 30 minutes, done. I mean, it finally worked out, but it took forever. That one's moving actually pretty decent. Of course, you know, it's 1-inch, not 2-inch, so. And this forge gets hot, and it gets hot quick. All right, do a little upsetting here. Hard to do without the right stuff. Tempted to throw my tongs in the forge and adjust them. See if I can get that. That's about as good as I can get it there. And I'm already too cold. Oh yeah, look at there. The dreaded rhombus. See if I can fix that on the next pass. Oh, somebody sat in my seat. Better be lucky I don't have gas. Yeah, see, and I don't have Rob. I don't have a Bob. I don't have a hammerite drift, so that's kind of what I'm making here, but it's not. I mean, smaller version, but you know, just got to bring that tip down to a point where I can get it through the hole left by my punch right here. So that's a 1/2-inch punch, so I got to bring that 1-inch stock down to at least a 1/2 inch so I can get it through the hole. I'll go from there. And honestly, I don't. Oh no! It rolled all the way to the side. Son of a biscuit. Ow! Why is this thing hot? The dangers of having your forge unlevel. Put a piece of round stock in and it rolls all the way to one side. Tomorrow I'm gonna and I don't have, yeah, I coated my little forge with Mizu. That's it right there, and I'm really not fond of the texture. It was really hard to spread. It's like pea gravel and toothpaste. I wasn't fond of it all. So I got that one there done. And it's just it's got the 2-inch wool all the way around it. And I put rigidizer on it I put a lot of rigidizer on it. So, I mean, the fiber's not going anywhere. But tomorrow, I did a test today on I went down to the dollar store and I got this is yesterday. I went down and got a bag of that cheap $1 for 7-pound kitty litter. And I mixed it 2 parts kitty litter to 1 part sand in water, and made like a little clay mesh, and then I flattened it out, let it dry. I put it in the forge and fired it, and it came. I mean, it glowed red. It glowed red. It hardened up, and didn't crack or anything like that. So what I'm gonna try tomorrow, if I get a chance, is I'm gonna mix up another batch of that, and I'm gonna spread it along that refractory on the inside, that ceramic fiber, and see how that I'll dry and then fire it, see how it holds up. Because I don't have any other refractory at the moment, and at this point, I would think anything is better than nothing. Worst case scenario, at some point in time, I got to peel it off and start over with like some Satanite, like Alan used on his forge. That stuff looked like it spread really good, and I'd like to get some of that. But yours was made from 1 inch of 4140. Well, that's what I'm making this one out of right here. Well, not 1 inch of it, but 6 inches of 1 inch diameter 4140. I'm going to move you back just a little bit there, buddy. Yeah, that Satanite, Alan's video, I mean, because all the different refractories I've spread, well, it ain't all that many, it's only 2. I got the Rutland, I don't even know what the hell it is. This stuff right here, I bought this stuff on eBay, and it's the bottom of my forge, the big one that I just built. It's what that is. It's just that stuff there, and I got 3 big hard fire bricks set in it to, kind of display that stuff. And then I got soft fire bricks on top of it for my forge floor that are removable and replaceable. And then the sides and the top is all 2 inch ceramic fiber. And I saw Alan's video on the Satanite, and I was like, man, that stuff spread smooth. Because that Mizu that I bought, I thought, because I'd heard good things about it, and I bought it, and then I heard bad things about it. People were like, oh, good luck with that. It's a pain in the ass if you don't thermal cycle it correctly. And I don't have a pyrometer or anything like that. I've got one of them infrared temperature guns, but when the forge is running, I mean, even with all the air blocked off, just a yellow flame coming out of it, it's too hot for that temperature gun to tell me anything. So all I did after it dried is I turned the forge on on a yellow flame, with no oxygen coming in, or no air being sucked through the venturis, and let it cook for like 7 minutes, something like that. Shut it off, and I did that again, except I gave it a little bit of air and got it a little bit hotter, and then shut it off, cooled it all the way down. And the third time I brought it all the way up to temperature, and over the course of about 30 minutes, and I had it going and blowing, and nothing cracked. I didn't have any problems. It worked just fine. So I don't guess the curing part of it has to be exactly as exact as they say in on the Hard Luck Forge instructions on how to cure it. But I mean, mine worked, but that doesn't mean it would always work the same. I might be able to do that 3 times, and this is the only time it works. Who knows? Oh yeah, that whole sucker's hot now. All right, let's see if we can fix that rhombus. It's right there. Okay, back to the right side. Oh, these tongs are going to kill me. Actually, that's not too bad right there. Back in the fire. No, don't drop. we're making a little bit of progress. Huh. Interesting how it looks hotter on camera. All right, guys, if you will give me about 30, 45 seconds, I got to go refill that. I will be right back. Hold down the fort, Jacob. Man, bad news, bad news. That's all that was left in the growler. Shoot. Ice cream. Huh. What do you need ice cream for? Just coming from somebody that's not particularly fond of ice cream. Every once in a while, I buy a half a gallon of ice cream. It'll take me 6 months to eat that stuff. God dang it. Why is my... I see what's up. Dang it. Ooh, missed hit. Mess that whole tip all up. Stay. Look at that. You can see I'm not having very good luck combating the fish lip in there. I'm gonna have a nice little divot right in the middle of that sucker. It's all right though, it'll grind out. It'll grind out. Oh. Oh, right on. Yeah, fire bricks on the ends. That's kind of like you're talking about. Like I got two that go on the back side there, and then I mean, same thing. I got a bunch of fire bricks here, and I stack them up and put them over the end to kind of hold the heat in. Man, I tell you what, it heats up a whole lot quicker. Yeah, a whole lot quicker when you close off the ends and you just leave enough space for your material or whatever. I had no idea where to get fire bricks, and one day I was just happened to be going to Walmart, and I looked over and I saw Acme brick, and I was like, I wonder if they sell fire brick. I drove in there and they're like, yep, $1.30 a piece. I was like, shit, sell me 30 of them. And I mean, hell, since then, I mean, I've put them in my, I've got a tile saw sitting right over here. I've put them in my tile saw and trimmed them down to fit, you know, in different little ways. And it's kind of a pain in the butt because the brick doesn't exactly fit in the saw the right way. So sometimes you got to go at it from this angle, flip it over, turn it around, flip it over. But eventually you can get all the way through a brick, unless you're just shaving an end off, and then in that case it's pretty darn simple. But I've got all these little pieces of fire brick running around, like where I shaved one side off of one, and on my little forge. The reason I brought it up here to begin with is because I had to do that shape on my fire bricks, because after doing the Mizu on the inside of my little forge, when I put the fire brick in there, you know, this is how wide it is. It was sitting, you know, this high up off the floor of the forge, and I only had, you know, that high to the burner. So I kicked that tile saw off at a 45-degree angle and trimmed that sucker. Man, made a world of difference right there. And as a frame of reference, because I just ordered those bricks, but this is the brick that came with the with my forge, and I tried to trim it down. I was like, well, heck, it's still usable. But if you look on the back side of it, I mean, really, the only thing that's holding this brick together, or was holding it together, is the flux. So all the flux on that side is holding it together, because that's how many pieces it's broke into over the time I've had that forge. And it was all in one piece, and then when I cut the 45s on it, it broke in half, and I was like, oh darn it, because it's all kind of dished out right here, so I thought it'd make a good little trough for forge welding to keep the flux from running out, but not so much. So what I did, I had a little bit of Mizu left over, and I built like a little tray with it that's built on the edges. And so if I got a small piece I need to flux up or whatever, I can throw this in the forge and set that on top of it. And you know, just a disposable piece, you know. Uh-oh. The wind is shifting directions. I'm now getting water on my iPad, so trying to keep it in a opportune spot where I can read comments while I'm kind of on camera. It's not always that easy. All right, buddy, coming out of the forge. Hot steel coming out. Rhombusing again from me missing. Looks pretty square. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I ain't no ½ inch yet. Yeah. Woo! Back in the fire. Is that where that goes? Yeah, not when I'm beating on steel, it doesn't. It's a good way to lose a finger, buddy. Or at least so I'm told. I can see where that would get in the way. Oh. So, Bob, how are those bricks holding up for you? Being that they're used or whatever. I mean, I guess if they were in what they were being used for, I mean, they weren't stressed too terribly bad. I mean, I know here with my forge, the front and back bricks, the ones that I got in the front and the one I got in the back, they last maybe about a month before they crack it too. Sometimes it's because I'm trying to move it out of the way and it falls over, and then it cracks when it falls over. But sometimes I'll just go to move it. Sometimes I'll just go to move a brick, and I'll pick it up with my brick moving tongs, and only half of the brick comes up. So, but that's all right. I mean, at $1.30 a piece, that's fine. They do a really good job of keeping the heat in. So I can replace them if I need to, I guess. Although I'm not going to replace them until I have to. Okay. See if that's cool to the touch yet. Yes, it is. Alright, so now I just need to find some chain for that little knocker thing. And some leather string, or some string to put on it. Right on, that piece is done. Don't need the fullering tool, Jacob. The rain is gonna get the better of me, I think. Forge a tiny chain. Yeah, you betcha. Yeah, I'm looking around. I got this stuff that, like, you know, my Sullivan sign hangs off of up here. And I'm like, man, I need some of that. But I'm not going to rob it off that sign. And no, I am not going to forge tiny chain. I think it'd be difficult enough to forge large chain. John Switzer makes it look easy. He's just like, oh, you just whip it right around here, give her a good weld, and you're good to go. Sure. Well, at this point, I think upsetting it's a lost cause. I'm going to have fish lip, and I don't care. Well, I do care, but man, heck all I can do with it. Man, when that stuff gets down into a dull red, and it just stops moving. Man, when it's yellow and orange, it just flows, well, not like butter, but it flows pretty good. But once it gets into a dull red, it's like, nope, sorry. We're done. Calling it a night. Oh, then we got to throw it back in the forge and start all over. Oh yeah, I need to move my anvil. There we go. I was working forward. I've got two pieces of 1-inch plate that are kind of pie shaped, one on each side underneath it to boost it up just a little bit to get it closer to the right height. And I was working on some Damascus in a short live stream I did earlier, and it was walking forward on me. This is that piece right here. Started out as 12 inches of 1.25 inch winch line, and I don't have it all the way marked down. It's at about 10 mil thick right now for the most length of it, and this down here is 5 mil. And I want to work the whole thing down to about 5 mil, and then I'm going to call it good. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably going to, like, yeah, I have no idea, but decent. It's a decent billet. I like it, and I just need to finish it out, and that one's going to be fun to play with. Yeah, S7, you know, asked when I went to the steel getting place yesterday, I was like, hey, you got anything like, you know, S7, S1, H13, and they were like, no. We've got 1018 and we've got 4140. I'm like, okay, good enough. At H13, I'd like to give me some H13 and play with it, but I bet it's very similar. I bet it's just kind of like forging. To me, it looks kind of like forging titanium tools. I bet H13 is a very similar experience. Ah! All right, what do I got? I'm going a little bit wonky that way. All right, now we're all true. Making some decent progress on it. Woo! You know, the temperature's not too bad. It's kind of cool out. It's raining, and I am still sweating my butt off. If you guys happen to be around tomorrow after church and after blacksmithing church and then after a real church and then going to lunch, I'm probably going to work on that Bill of Damascus live as well. It ain't got a whole lot left, maybe 10 or 12 heats, and that sucker will be about where I need it to be. And then I'm probably going to try to do a little bit of planishing and flatten out and maybe grind it down. I probably won't grind it on a live stream. I'll probably do a regular video on that, grinding it down and putting an etch on it just to see what the pattern is. Because even when I'm working it, I can see the wire patterns in it. It's pretty darn cool. Especially since the wires in the original cable, like if you look at the cable real close, see the wires are all running straight, even though the cable is each strand is twisted, and then the cables are all twisted. The wires are all running straight right down it, and it's very similar on the Damascus. They're not exactly straight because I gave them, I gave it some twisting while I was working on it. But yeah, hold on just a second. I got an issue to fix. Hey, don't be opening the window. Let's slide here. Ah. Sorry, the young one thinks it's fun to go in the house through the front door and then come around to the window and open the window in the dining room and climb out, and then leave the window open. Almost ready. All right. There you are, right there. Oh yeah. Whew. As far as in the square goes, that's about as far as I need to go. I need to take that into, well, I need to make that taper go a little bit further. That's just about a hammer width, so work that down just a little bit more. Otherwise, I might as well just be hitting that darn bottle opener with a solid chunk of 4140 and try to force it through a dang hole. Needs to be a little bit more gradual than that. That way I can select the size I need, but I'm pretty certain the size I'm going to need is going to be the size of the whole darn grip. So, although this is going to be 3/8 of an inch. Oh yeah, I'm going to need the whole thing because the other one that I had is 5/8. This one's going to be 1 inch, so 3/8 of an inch difference ought to get that bottle opener grip right where it needs to be. So I got to work two sides flat, one in the round, or two sides kind of curved, one side flat, and that ought to be right where I need to be. Oh. Whew. Bob, you had 80 degrees, and Rob, you had 76. Must be nice. I don't think it got much higher than, I don't know, maybe 90 here. It wasn't too awful hot. Had some cloud cover, and then it started raining, so the weather was pretty darn decent actually. It was a little hot early in the day, but ow! And actually, I'm guessing by working it this way, it's going to be a little bit wider than 1 inch. There it goes, all hard to move again. So by flattening it out, now I'm winging it here, but by flattening it out on the two sides, it's spreading out that way, so I might get a little bit better than 1 inch in width. Woo! And it is hot right now. Of course, I'm sitting in front of a fire, but if I didn't have the forge on, it'd be right nice and decent out here. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Whew. Okay. At least now I can tell what side's what when I pull it out of the forge. Come on. Ah, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. All right. Almost there. How long have we been going? 1 hour 6. About 10 more minutes, fellas. About 10 more minutes. 5 on Monday, huh? Woo! We get that here all the time, Bob. All the time. It is not fun. Luckily for my day job, I drive a big truck. Oh. My air conditioner blows 47 degrees all day long, so I don't really notice it till I got to get out and have a meeting or a safety meeting or something like that. So if I had to get out and work in it all day, though, man, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'd be working up north, still in Wyoming and Colorado, up in those areas where them 100-degree days are far. Well, they're not far and few between. You'll have 4 or 5 of them in a row, but that's all you're going to get for the year. Not like here where it's 100 days of over 100 degrees every year. Makes it really difficult to get anything done forging wise, because I mean I forge outside, so granted, you know, at work I'm under an awning, which doesn't help much, and here I'm under the carport. It's actually here it's a lot better because the wind just happens to blow the right direction that it's blowing through that way all the time. And then again, that creates another problem with the wind with my Venturis, but if I couldn't imagine running a forge inside. I mean, just the heat bill. I'm sitting here right now 8 feet away from my forge, and my leg is just smoldering because it's sitting on the ground. And I mean, I can tell it's definitely hot. Would you quit? Would you quit? Would you quit? -12 on your reefer. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to cool off right there. Unfortunately, I don't have a reefer or a sleeper even. So I got to deal with what my air conditioner puts out, and that ain't bad at all. My helper, my cousin, swamps for me, and he'll get in the truck after being out on the ground for 4 or 5 hours, and he'll be like, "Man, you got to turn that AC off. It's too cold in here." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's 100 degrees outside. It can't be too cold in here." All right, I need to refine these edges a little bit. Especially right around there. Ah, man. You know, we're looking pretty good. I got some humps there I gotta deal with. Dang it. There we go. Drop it right on the wood. See if it'll burn. Yeah. By the time I figure out what I need to work on, it's too cold to work on it. Almost there, almost there. So the next step's going to be the grinding and all that stuff, and I ain't going to do that here, so do that tomorrow. All right. Last heat. We ain't there yet. Man. Sometimes I don't know if the effort to sit down and stand back up is worth sitting down. I almost pulled a T and Gerber the other day. yesterday morning. I don't remember what I was working on, but man, I hit a piece of steel, and oh no, I was building the forge, and I was hitting it with the knotted wheel on the angle grinder, and boy, after I just welded it up, a piece of flux or slag or whatever came off the end of that sucker, hit me right in the eyelid, burned it in 2 spots, because it caught it right in the fold on the eyelid there, and I was like, oh man, that could have totally been my eyeball. Where's my safety glasses? Oh, they're in the drawer. Yeah, not where they ought to be, I guess. That thing still bothers me. I can't rub my left eye because it hurts. All right, guys. Coming out, just do a little bit of planishing. Kind of clean up these edges so I don't have to grind it for a mile. Go that way just a skosh. I don't think that's going to work. I'll let her cool down and give you a better look at it there. Whew. There we go. Well, that's it for the Martin House True Love. Ooh. So, man, that thing actually came out pretty decent. I saw some other stuff I need to do, but it can wait. It can wait. I was gonna chamfer off the struck end of it, but I guess I can do that with a grinder. I've already shut the forge off, and I'm not gonna relight it and start over. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So this is what we got. Doesn't look too awful bad. But man, that didn't hardly scale up at all. Man, those freaking tongs are hot. Of course. Let's see what kind of length we got. Stay. 7 inches, so I only got an extra inch of length though. So that's not too bad. I'm going to stick that right there for now. Put those back in there, and I am, ooh, what's that? You notice the same thing. Okay guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's hot, I'm tired, and thanks for showing up and hanging out, chatting. You guys have a fine evening, and keep on forging on.